When you do resistant training or anything like that, hard training, I don't know if you guys know that your testosterone does reduce when you train like a beast. The genetic stuff. Talk about the genetic stuff. You know. What is up, guys? So I want to say for you guys all checking in, today is a high day. We are having fun. We are eating up a storm. Little popcorn, birthday popcorn. That's for the kids. So we have, we did a video earlier today. We talked about something that I grew up with, and I'm curious when I talk to these other guys that grew up during my time, if they heard the same thing. And we're talking about all that size that we get as we're kids. So I was told as a youngster, you get all your size at a very young age. And so we just did that whole YouTube video, and that video will go up today or tomorrow. So make sure to go check that out about you guys that are youngsters that want to get your size. All right. Make sure you check that out. And then we'll talk about how this nutrition is changing. Let's see, I got another week or so on this nutrition plan, and then I switch up again. So if you guys are staying with me and trying to put all that muscle on during this time, make sure to check back in for us. We are still making gains. We're still, big time gains right now. We are putting on muscle and getting those bodies recovered and healed. And that's the number one thing during this lockdown. Most of the states are coming out of it tomorrow, from what I understand. LA is not, but we are doing fine over here with our home gym. All right, so I just want to check in with you guys. I hope you guys are doing good on your nutrition. We are doing check-ins again on the Titan Crew. So if you're not on the Titan Crew, get on the Titan Crew. If you have my meal plan, then you are automatically entered into the Titan Crew. You just got to put down the information and stuff. And then if you work out with my fit plan, again, you automatically get in there. And then we will be going over check-ins the next couple days. So make sure that you get your check-ins in there, on there, and us start working. I weigh 308 pounds right now. So close to the, what's that?
Crazy.
Yeah. So I got all that muscle through the years that I've lost and taken off back on the body. So it feels great. I could wrestle a bear right now.
Hi, guys. Hey, your eating partner is coming over.
Who's that?
Keith Evans.
I'm not familiar with this name.
He's coming over to eat.
I do not know who that is.
So get ready for a good video.
All right. So, hey, you got some links here. Those are the links about the nutrition. And again, well, what are we eating first?
Ooh, we got some ground
Did you see what she just did? She's ready for her OnlyFans account. She really is.
This hair, yes, I am. I look crazy because I'm cleaning the house.
Yeah.
But I got some ground beef from Piedmontese.
Piedmontese ground beef.
I did it a little special love in there, a little mozzarella cheese and onion.
And some.
Yeah,
and some.
pita bread. That's your next meal.
What do we got here? Yeah, no, honestly though, I do feel like I could wrestle a bear right now, as strong as I feel. Nice, Jeffrey. So we got that down there. New comments. Let's see this. We're going to be eating, so we'll be able to put this up over on the live, and then also just so you guys know what I'm eating on high days to really get that extra strength going into tomorrow's training. Are you posing?
Not yet, but I'm here. I'm out of here. Look at that back.
What was that about, huh? Come in here and flex your tricep on me and your back. Coming right. All right. Let's see. Obviously, she has lost no muscle. I put on tons of muscle. When you do resistant training or anything like that, hard training, I don't know if you guys know that your testosterone does reduce when you train like a beast. It just tests low. It tests low. It doesn't mean technically it's low, but when you do train like a beast, it will test low. But actually it is boosting it up, even though the numbers will not appear when you do get tested. But other things test high, like creatines and your enzymes, liver enzymes test high because of the amount of breakdown during the workouts and what happens to the body. So make sure that you're working with a doctor if you do blood work and understand what everything means, okay? And hopefully, like we talked before, hopefully you guys and girls got your blood work checked. I know right now it's probably a crazy time to do it, but after this lockdown, maybe do that. Hey, great. I'm 20 years old. What is the best I should do when I'm 20? Yeah, 20 is a great age. That's the year I won the universe, my first time.
Video today.
Yeah, today's talk there is all about being a teenager in early 20s, for what I did and what others did that were champions during my era. Somebody's on the meal plan. He says he's on the meal plan. He's not on the Titan crew. You just check his name.
Yeah, I did. He's on the.
Okay, make sure if you are, again, I'm saying this to everybody, if you are on the meal plan, make sure to go over and hit friend request, not friend request, submit to the Titan crew, a request. Put your name down there, and we'll keep, Jeffrey's going to write down your name. And we can also check the back ends. Just make sure that you got the Titan meal plan, and we get you in there. That way you can do check-ins, all right? The genetic stuff. Talk about the genetic stuff. You know what? Even if that's not what you were asking, I will talk about the genetic stuff from this morning. I did post a photo of the little Titan, Steve. And it was interesting. I mean, I thought it was common sense. You're born basically with, the genetics of what your parents gave you. And that is what it is. And then what you try to do is you try to do the very best you can with that. Is that common sense to you too?
Yeah.
So it was interesting to see that people this morning go, well, how is this kid muscular? I'm trying to figure the word, because we all know that he's probably muscular mostly because of Mona and her genetics, and then maybe I contributed it a bit to that. But we're all made up of our own genetic makeup. Now, I do agree with this statement, is that I altered my genetic, and I took it to a pinnacle of what the body was capable of doing, and I think Mona did the same thing. And then us coming together and creating a little child took that to an extreme. So why is our 1-year-old child freaky looking already? I think it's us changing our own DNA in a sense, or taking it to the very extreme limits. And then us being smart parents when it came to raising, not saying nobody else is smart. Let me clarify that. Sorry about that. Let me say, we were willing, mostly Mona was willing to be up every 2 hours to feed him from day one. He's over a year now, and we've never gone longer than 2 to 3 hours without feeding him. So that's a huge thing. Obviously, he doesn't work out. He's 1 year old, but he does. Well, I guess he does work out. We swim every day, and he started at 3 months. So that is going to be a lot of shoulder work. So that is the genetic makeup. For you guys, let's say the average male is 5'9", 170, and that's the average, and that's genetic makeup. What can you do with that? Man, I'll tell you this, some of the greatest bodies I've ever seen in my life is Danny Hester, which is not 5'9", he's shorter, and Francis Benefato, who I'll be talking to this week. And I got to be honest, I think Francis at his peak was the most amazing body. And I'm going to actually change my opinion earlier. I think he had the most amazing body by himself on stage than anybody in history, even more than my number one choice, which was Flex Wheeler before. I think Francis, looking back now and seeing the photos, and I see that, the only reason that at that time I didn't think it was is because Flex was a much bigger, taller guy. But looking at Francis Benefato by himself on stage, at maybe 5'6", 5'7", had the most perfect physique I've ever seen. It was Michelangelo couldn't create something that perfect. And so maybe he wasn't gifted the height, but the shape that he was able to put on his body and create the physique, unbelievable. And I'll get photos. Let's get photos up when we do the podcast with him and YouTube videos. And also, here's the thing. When you see these guys that I trained with back in the late 80s, early 90s, here's something that I think today, and you can agree with this, Jeffrey's over here. When they see the physique, they're going to assume the guy goes light, maybe, because it's a classic physique. It's incorrect. Francis Benefato trained like a freaking animal, and he was using the same weights I was using when I was 20 years old. He was older, but I mean, he wasn't nearly as big as I was. I was a 270-pound 20-year-old, so he was using the same weights. Just a freak. This guy's body is absolutely stunning and beautiful. And maybe not gifted the Lee Haney genetics or the Flex Wheeler genetics, but still what he did with it is incredible. And I think that's what I love about bodybuilding is it is the guy that was willing to put in the work. Does genetics come into play? 100%. But I've met a lot of freaky genetic guys that were not willing to do the work. And the guy that didn't have the good genetics outworked them and beat them. Go watch some Jay Cutler videos. Jay would be one of the first guys to say maybe he wasn't gifted the greatest physique in the world, but he outworked everybody. And I agree with that. He outworked everybody. He didn't have the physique like Ronnie Coleman or Lee Haney or Flex Wheeler, but he put in the work that so many millions of guys couldn't do and wouldn't do. So I give props to that.